So last class we discussed about what is phase, what are the types of the system based on the phase, then approaches to the thermodynamics, that is macroscopic and microscopic approaches. Very important thing, as I said. So in thermodynamics we will follow which approach we are following? Macroscopic approach, because it is a classical thermodynamics which involves less number of mathematical calculations and the design will be simple. That's why we are using macroscopic approach. And we started temperature also, right? So temperature is the measure of degree of hotness or coldness of a body. Okay, right. So and we discussed what is thermometric property. A physical property that changes with the temperature is called thermometric property. If you see, if it's a solid, if you heat the solid, what happens? Its volume will be increased. And if a gas is heated, by keeping volume constant, pressure increases. And by keeping pressure constant, what will be increased? Volume is increased, right? If you keep volume constant, pressure is the thermometric property. If you keep pressure constant, volume is the thermometric property, which is varying with respect to temperature. That is called thermometric property. And if you take conductor, electrical conductor, your resistance is the thermometric property, right? Thermometric property is nothing but a physical property that changes with the temperature, that varies according to the temperature. That is called thermometric property. And I think this one also I discussed. Always heat will flow from body at high temperature to the body at low temperature. Any doubt in this one, in this slide? Anyone, if you have any doubt, please ask me. I given best example also. If you keep a hot coffee on a table, what will happen? Eventually it will cool down, because always heat will flow from body under high temperature to the body under low temperature. And at the same time, if you keep a cool drink, it will come to the room temperature, because if you keep the cool drink over a table, the surrounding atmospheric temperature is greater than the temperature of the cool drink. Therefore, heat will be added to the system in that case. Thereby, the cool drink will come to the room position, right? Till what? Till up to what extent this will continue? Till both the bodies, means let us say
same temperature.
Yeah, till both the bodies reaches to the same temperature. We can say that both are in thermal equilibrium. That is the meaning. If two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, when both the bodies are achieving similar temperature, when the coffee and atmospheric temperature are same, then the bodies are in thermal equilibrium. There is no exchange of further heat. Okay. So this is called equality of temperature. So the equality of temperature is the only requirement for the thermal equilibrium. If the two bodies are at same temperature, then we can say that the two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, right? And basically, thermometers are the devices used to measure the temperature of a system. And you already studied about the glass tube thermometers in your childhood. Okay. So basically, you will use mercury as the thermometric fluid, and nowadays we are using alcohol also, because the mercury is the toxic one. So high toxicity. So because of that, we are using alcohol also. Okay. And I already discussed these are the thermometric properties we have. So these are the properties are going to change with respect to the temperature. These are called thermometric property. Now, right. So I already asked one question last class. Let us say we have thermometer here. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
so
sir.
Right. Now here, let us say what is let us assume the minimum. One second, it's got closed. Right. Now, let us assume we have a thermometer over here. Right. So here we have, what is this one? Let us assume it is a mercury, as it is filled up to this level, and here if you observe, inside we have a small passage. Yes or no? Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right now. Now,
Yes, sir.
let us assume this reads 0 degree centigrade and this reads 100 degree centigrade. Okay. How these temperatures are marked over the thermometer? Can anyone? How the temperatures are marked over there? Please answer, anyone.
According to room temperature,
No, listen.
comparing.
Right. First, what they will do? Any manufacturer, first they will take the glass tube. They will take the glass tube, and this tube is filled with the mercury up to certain portion. Okay. Now what they will do? They will expose. Now this is called bulb of the thermometer. This is very sensitive one. Agree? The bulb is the very sensitive area. You should be handled very carefully. Okay. Now they will expose this bulb to the ice. They will expose the bulb to the ice, and they will keep in touch with the ice for certain time to keep equilibrium, to get the equilibrium state, or we can say that steady state. What is meant by steady state? As I discussed already, steady state means the properties does not change with respect to the time. That is the meaning of steady state, right? Irrespective of the time, it will show the same reading. That is called steady state. First, this thermometer bulb is exposed to the ice. That is nothing but freezing point, we can say. Freezing point of water. Freezing point of water. It is exposed, and let us say, due to the temperature of the ice, let us assume the mercury is contracted. Let us say mercury position is at this point. After exposing to the ice point, now we will make this as 0 degree. Now take the thermometer away from the ice, and now take the water. Now take the hot water, let us say. Okay. Now that is nothing but steam, we can say. Usually steam is at 100 degrees centigrade, and they will expose the thermometer bulb to the steam, and they, let us say, due to the addition of the heat, the volume of the mercury will increase, whereby it will raise in the tube, let us say, till this point. That point is marked as 100 degrees centigrade. We can call this as a steam point. Okay, so 0 degrees is marked and 100 degrees is also marked. Now what they will do, let us say, if you want to measure your accuracy is only 1 degree centigrade, now you need to divide this between 0 to 100 only 100 divisions. So we will divide 100 divisions, so that each one will be 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4, like that. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, like that. They will make the marking for the thermometer. Clear? First they will expose to the ice point, then they will expose to the steam point in order to mark the readings of the thermometer. Now you can see. So first the thermometer is placed in the ice in equilibrium at a pressure of 1 atmosphere. What is meant by 1 atmospheric pressure? What is the value? Can anyone? What is the atmospheric pressure?
Five.
1 atmospheric pressure is how much?
1 bar, sir.
1 atmosphere, very good. 1 atmospheric pressure is 1 bar, right? Agree? What are other values? 1 bar is 1 atmosphere. Any other values? Have you studied 760 mm of Hg? 760
Yes, sir.
mm of mercury? That is also unit. And 1
Sir.
into, right now, 1 into 10 for 5 Pascal. This is also 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, na? Right. So first the thermometer is placed in ice in equilibrium at a pressure of 1 atmosphere. This is nothing but our atmospheric pressure. When the thermometer is in thermal equilibrium, means there is no change in the reading of the mercury, then which gives the ice point temperature, that is nothing but your 0 degree centigrade. Now we will mark that as 0 degree centigrade. Now next the thermometer is placed in the boiling water. Thermometer is placed in the boiling water, and that particular reading we are making it as the 100 degree centigrade after coming to the thermal equilibrium. Like that we will make the readings over the thermometer. Now, so basically in India we are using which system? What are the units we are using generally? Centigrade.
Yes.
Degree centigrade, right?
Centigrade.
Degree centigrade. But if you go to USA, they will use degree Fahrenheit. Degree Fahrenheit. Okay. So it is invented by the German scientist Fahrenheit, and it is used in United States widely. And usually we know that ice point is how much? 0 degree centigrade. Just now we discussed, right? So if the thermometer is keeps in equilibrium with the ice, then the reading is 0 degree centigrade, and the same value in Fahrenheit is equal to 32 degree. 32 degree Fahrenheit is nothing but 0 degree centigrade. And the freezing point, the melting point of water, that is the steam point, is 100 degree centigrade in a centigrade system, whereas coming to in Fahrenheit system, it is 232 degree Fahrenheit. Sorry, 212 Fahrenheit. 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, what is the difference between steam point to the ice point in centigrade system?
100.
100. But whereas coming to the Fahrenheit, it is 180 degree.
180.
It is 180 degree.
180.
Right? 180. Okay, right now. So here, if you can observe here, besides the figure, this is the freezing point and this is the boiling point. 0 degrees is also equal to 32 degree Fahrenheit, and 100 degree centigrade is also equal to 212 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. If you see, what is the relation between the Fahrenheit and centigrade? There is a relation, because if you see 0 degree is nothing but 32 degree Fahrenheit, and 100 degree centigrade is nothing but 212 degree Fahrenheit. Means in order to get the Fahrenheit, what you need to do? You need to multiply the degree centigrade with some constant A, and you should add some other constant B. A and B are the constants. If you multiply the degree centigrade with some constant value and again add some constant value. Suppose if you take 100 degrees and 212 degree centigrade, 100 degree centigrade and 212 Fahrenheit. So means first multiply degree centigrade with some constant value, then add some other constant in order to get the 212. Agree? That is the relation between degree centigrade and Fahrenheit. Now, so here basically always we will go for the absolute units. So if you in SI system we are using only absolute unit. So usually degree centigrade is converted into Kelvin in case of absolute system, and degree Fahrenheit is converted into Rankine system. So Rankine system is nothing but ES system. This Fahrenheit and Rankine system is, this is ES system is nothing but English system, and whereas degree centigrade and Kelvin is our SI system. This is SI system of temperature units, and this is the ES system is English system, and this is the system of international. So in India we are following SI system. Okay. So always whenever you are solving the problem, suppose if the temperature is given in degree centigrade, first you should convert into Kelvin. It's not degree Kelvin. Before 1960 around, they used to call it as degree Kelvin, but now they replace degree Kelvin with only Kelvin. Don't write degree symbol over the Kelvin. Remember throughout your system. Okay. So degree Kelvin, there is no symbol, only it is Kelvin. Degree Kelvin was used in olden time. Now it is removed degree and they are simply calling it as only Kelvin. Again, I have one doubt. Can anyone explain what is this? How to pronounce this?
Adding
Let us say,
273.
one second. Can you pronounce what is this one?
10 degrees centigrade.
It denotes a temperature, right? Suppose if I write like this, what it denotes? 10 centigrade degree. If you see here degree is before the C and here degree is after the C. It denotes the difference of the temperature. Whenever you are writing the difference of temperature, it is 10 centigrade centigrade degrees. And nowadays again centigrade is replaced by Celsius. Centigrade also we are not calling, we are calling it as Celsius scale. Both are same only. 10 degrees Celsius. Instead of 10 degrees centigrade, we are calling it as 10 degrees Celsius. Is it is clear? So this is to denote the
Yes, sir.
temperature, and this is to denote the difference of the temperature. Celsius degree, degree Celsius. Degree Celsius is only one particular temperature. Celsius degree is to define the difference of the temperature. Let us say you have T1, T2. T1 is equals to 30 degrees centigrade or Celsius. T2 is equals to 50 degrees Celsius, and delta T is equals to T2 minus T1. So that is equals to 50 minus 30. I need to write 20 Celsius degree. It's not 20 degrees centigrade because it is the difference of temperature. Therefore, you need to write 20 Celsius degree. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, if you see here the systems what we discussed, so this is the SI system and this is the ES system. So SI system is our Indian system. We are using centigrade and Kelvin, and ES system a Fahrenheit, and absolute scale is called Rankine. Rankine is the absolute scale in ES system. Kelvin is the absolute scale in SI system. And the freezing point is 0 degrees centigrade, and the boiling point is 100 degrees centigrade. And in case of ES system, freezing point is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and see it is wrong here, Fahrenheit it is. And in ES system, in absolute scale, it is 212 degree Fahrenheit, the boiling point is, okay. It's not degree centigrade, it is Fahrenheit. Now, here you can see below, there are relations how to convert centigrade to Fahrenheit. As I told you, in order to convert centigrade to Fahrenheit, first you should multiply with certain constant and you should add certain constant. These are the constants, right? By resolving, you will get the A is 9/5 and B is 32. So that you can, what is the human body temperature in degree centigrade? Human body temperature in degree centigrade?
36, 35, 36.
36, 37 also, right? But in terms of Fahrenheit?
99.
98 like that. Okay?
96.
98 point something you will get. Okay? Now, so here, in order to convert centigrade to absolute scale, that is absolute scale of centigrade or SI system is the Kelvin, you should add 273.15 to the centigrade system so that it will be converted into the Kelvin. And similarly, if you want to convert Fahrenheit system is not absolute one, but Rankine is the absolute scale in ES system. In order to convert Fahrenheit to Rankine, you should add 459.67. Then that Fahrenheit will become Rankine. And here there is relation between Rankine and Kelvin also. Okay, if you have Kelvin, you can convert it directly into the Rankine system. So these are the different types of conversions available, right? So our interest is only degree centigrade, degree Kelvin, degree Fahrenheit, and Rankine. Okay, so it's not degree Kelvin, again I pronounce it is only Kelvin. Okay, right. Now, whenever I want to stress something here, new slide, black screen. Okay, let us assume I have temperature T1 is equals to some 100 degrees centigrade and T2 is equals to 200 degrees centigrade. Is it is visible to you, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If I want temperature difference delta T, right now, so let us say T1 is equals to here, let us say here 100 degree Fahrenheit and T2 is equals to 200 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so just now I told in order to convert centigrade to Kelvin, so how to get centigrade to Kelvin? 100 plus
Add 73.
273, right? Yes or no? So that
Yes,
it will become 373 Kelvin, and T2 is equals to 200 plus 273.15, strictly speaking. So I rounded to 273. So therefore this will become 473 Kelvin. Now tell me how to convert Fahrenheit to Rankine?
Add 459.
Add 459. Very good. So T1 is equals to 100 plus 459. So this will become 559 Rankine. T2 is equals to 200 plus 459. So this will be 659 Rankine, degree Rankine. Now, my doubt is, if I want to find out the difference of temperature, can I do directly in a centigrade system, or should I convert to Kelvin system? If you remember the previous slide, whenever you are doing the problems, you should convert all the units to absolute system. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But whenever difference of temperature is there, whenever difference of temperature is there, whether it is in Celsius system or Kelvin system, there is no much difference. You can see here, if what is delta T? Delta T is equals T2 minus T1. This is nothing but 200 minus 100. It gives how much? 100 degrees centigrade. 100 centigrade degree. Whereas here delta T, how much it will be? Delta T is equals to 473 minus 373. This is again equal to 100 Kelvin. Agree?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What
sir.
I mean to say is, whenever you want to find the difference of temperature, here also delta T is equals to 100 degree Fahrenheit. Here delta T is equals to how much? 100 Rankine degree. Means whenever there is difference of temperature, whether you will convert into absolute scale or not, the only numerical will be same. This 100 will remain same. Only thing is unit is different. But blindly you remember, by default all units should be in absolute system Kelvin. So whether you are doing difference or addition, better convert into Kelvin. Okay. Suppose sometimes if you forget also, the answer will not be very, because the what is this 100 is remains same here, only units are difference. Got my point?
Sir, so every time we should keep it in Kelvin.
Yes, that is the thing. Whenever you are doing the problem, unless until you ask, otherwise by default the unit should be in absolute system, that is Kelvin.
Okay, sir. Thank
By
you.
default the temperature should be in Kelvin. For that you need to add 273.15 to the Celsius system. 273.15, if you add to the Celsius system, then it will be converted into Kelvin. Clear? Any doubt, please ask me. Can I proceed?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see here, in order to convert degree centigrade to Fahrenheit, what you need to do? First you should divide with 5 and then multiply by 9 and then add 32. Okay. Now try this one. So usually 9 by 5 is the A value and 32 is the B value, as I told, right now? Yes or no? Tell me. Fahrenheit is equals to some A into C plus B, I told, where A and B are the constants. Here A value is 9 by 5 and B value is 32. Means if you multiply the degree centigrade with 9 and divide by 5, then add 32, you will get the corresponding Fahrenheit. That is the meaning of this first line. Is it clear?
Yes.
If I given you centigrade or Celsius, if I want to convert that Celsius system into Fahrenheit system, first you should multiply with 9 by 5, then add 32. Now tell me, in that way, you convert this 25 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit system. Please tell me. Anyone do this and tell me.
77 Fahrenheit.
You should multiply 25 with 9 by 5
75, sir.
plus 32. How much it is?
75.
77.
75 Fahrenheit.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So it is
Yes,
the
sir.
normal room temperature in warm day. In room temperature generally 25 degrees centigrade. In India we used to call, in US they used to call 75 degree Fahrenheit, because they will follow US system. Clear now? Whereas
Sir, I think it's 77, sir.
See, 5
Yes, sir.
77.
7.
Right, this is wrong. The answer is 77 degree Fahrenheit. Okay? 5 5 is 25, right now?
Yes.
5 5 is 25, 9 5 is 45. 45 plus 32.
77.
77. Okay.
77.
And in order to convert Fahrenheit system to centigrade system, centigrade system, first what you need to do, subtract 32, then multiply by 5 and divide with 9. Reverse of that, you can see here, F minus B divided by A. Use the Celsius, because as I told, F is equals to some A times the degree centigrade plus constant B. Yes or no? Now I want a centigrade system. For that, what you need to do? First, you need to send this constant to the left side. That will become F minus B. Then this multiplication will become division, right? So if you first subtract the 32 from the Fahrenheit system, where B value is 32 and A value is 9 by 5. Therefore, 5 will come to the multiplication, 9 will come to the division, right? Now, in the same way, now this is the answer we got just now. 77 degree Fahrenheit. Now tell me, I have 98.6 Fahrenheit. Convert corresponding centigrade, all of you. 98.6 degree Fahrenheit is there. Convert into corresponding Celsius scale. Yes, somebody unmuted. Please mute. Convert 98.6 into
37 degrees.
sorry
37 degrees. 37 degrees.
98.6
37.
degree Fahrenheit is equal to 37 degrees centigrade. What is 37 degrees centigrade? Our human body temperature. Yes or no? Our human body temperature is, normal temperature is 37 degrees centigrade, or we can call it as 98.6 Fahrenheit. Clear now? Very, very important for short answer point of view, conversion of degree centigrade to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to degree centigrade. Whenever you go for interview after completion of your BE, these are the basic things they will ask. They won't ask explain this, how this work. Only simple things they will check it. Whenever you are going for interview, these are the simple things they will ask. If you don't know basic things, how can they expect the extra things in the subject? Okay. Any doubt in centigrade and Fahrenheit system?
No, sir.
Right, now we'll go to
No,
the next
sir.
thing, zeroth law of thermodynamics. In order to understand this zeroth law, first you should know the concept of thermal equilibrium. Can anyone say what is thermal equilibrium? Can anyone say what is thermal equilibrium?
Temperature remains same throughout the
Let us say between the two systems, you tell me.
So transfer of temperature will take place until the temperature of the both bodies are similar.
See, means when the two systems temperature, instead of body, you can call it a system also, right? If two bodies are at same temperature, then we can say that those two bodies are in thermal equilibrium. Agree? Or if you take one particular body, if its temperature is constant, then we can say that that body is in thermal equilibrium. Agree or not? We studied in thermodynamic equilibrium three things. In thermodynamic equilibrium, first satisfied condition is thermal equilibrium. First it should satisfy thermal equilibrium, then it should satisfy mechanical equilibrium, then it should satisfy chemical equilibrium. You forgot already? Last week only we discussed, right? Thermal equilibrium means the temperature of the system should be constant, and if the pressure of the system is constant, we can call it as the mechanical equilibrium. If there are no chemical reactions are taking place, then we can say that the system is in chemical equilibrium. Agree or not? If a system obeys these three, then we can say that the body is in thermodynamic equilibrium. In order to be in thermodynamic equilibrium, it should obey all these three conditions. Yes or no? I am asking only thermal equilibrium. What is thermal equilibrium? If the temperature of the system is constant, then we can say that the body is thermally in equilibrium. Clear? No one is also answering.
Clear,
Hmm?
sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Right, now Now I will discuss zeroth law. For zeroth law, you should know the concept of thermal equilibrium. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Right. Usually number starts from 0 or 1. Natural numbers.
1.
1.
Whole numbers?
0.
0, right? Right. Now we will use only natural system. Now I will tell the story why 0 came. Okay? Right. Now zeroth law of thermodynamics states that let us consider 3 bodies. Let us here roll number 6001 is there. Okay, he is in A section, and B section 6050 is B section.
A
6050
section only.
A only.
A section.
Let us say 6060 is in B section now.
Yeah.
6060 is in B or A?
B.
Huh?
B section, sir.
B, right. Now I am taking 6001 or one A, and this is he is in B section. Now there is one more guy. He did not related to our college. He is studying. Let us say MJ college. Some other guy is studying in MJ college, right? Now 6001 is friend of this guy. This guy is studying in MJ college, and 6060 is also friend of this guy who is studying in MJC college. In turn, what will be happening? These two guys also will become friends or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Somewhere they will be connected, right? So what I mean to say that let us assume there are 3 bodies are there: A, B, C. A is thermally equilibrium with C. What does it mean? A is thermally equilibrium with C. Means both are having,
A equal to C.
yeah, the temperature of A equal to temperature of C. Very good.
B.
The temperature of A equal to temperature of C, we can say that both the bodies are in thermal equilibrium. Similarly, B and C are also in thermal equilibrium. Means temperature of B is also equals to temperature of C. In turn, I can say that these two bodies are also in thermal equilibrium. Temperature of A equal to temperature of B. So what I mean to say that if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with other body individually, if two bodies are individually in thermal equilibrium with third body, then these two bodies are also in thermal equilibrium. That is called zeroth law of temperature, right? Clear? I will explain in detail in next class. I think we are running out of the time. Right now, 1 second, I will take the attendance. Right. Is anyone is having doubts in today's class?